Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda and today I'm playing with my Counterfeit Kit challenge and I'm on for challenge 2, which is something that is grateful, thankful, or blessed. And I chose this picture. It is out in Cypress Hills, which is a little bit of a drive for us, but nonetheless it's in driving distance. And it's one of our favorite places to camp by, and those red chairs are a Canadian thing. And so I'm gonna scrapbook this photo because it's pretty and why not. So I'm double matting it in these two green colors, and I pulled out that Welcome Fall from Echo Park from my kit, and I pulled it out because look at those colors and it matches so well with my picture, and some of the brush is in all of those colors, so I thought, why not? And then I'm just going to pick out 3 different papers to do 3 different tags at the top. So I'm going to pull out this one from Hip Kit Club, and it's got a stitched edge around it, and it also has the eye hole or the keyhole bit that can go on it. So I don't always use that, but I am going to today. I'm going to run it through together, because why not? This ends up being a pretty simple layout today. It gets the 3 tags, it gets twine in the tags, it gets a title, it gets that double mat that I've already done, and it gets a little black scallop border. And that is really it. And one of the tags ends up being hidden with journaling, but yeah, it works out pretty well. So this layout actually took me longer than it probably should have, and I have no idea why, because it took me about 45 minutes to do, but there's not that much to it. I think probably because I made my own scalloped with circles and used my circle punch, but I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Maybe part of that too was I had to find where I put my phone tape because wasn't where I thought it was, and maybe those kind of things as well, because I don't turn my camera off. If I have to go find something, I just edit it out, because to me that's easier than piecemealing all the footage back together. So yeah, so those are the topper bits, and they just glue on really easily. It also has a score line in the middle of it, so it folds really easily, and those are pretty. And then I'm just touching up the black marker on the pattern paper where it didn't quite line up perfectly. Well, you get the twine and you'll never see that anyway, but sometimes I can, so I just wanted to make sure that worked well. And I'm doing this off center, and off center on purpose, just basically because the chairs look towards that ravine and the forest there and across, and I wanted it to look like it was going off the page in that direction. I don't know, could I have centered it? Totally could have, but this is what I wanted to do. So I'm just looking for some other bits to see if I can put more on here, but I don't today. This is probably one of the simplest layouts I've done in a super long time. Like, incredibly simple, but I think it's beautiful. I think the picture speaks for itself on this too, and yeah, it'll be just a nice filler page in my book, eventually in my book. I don't know if you're like me, but I have piles and piles of layouts that need to go in a book. But so I used my foam tape to make a spot for this one to sit, and I'm gonna make it be that orangey one. Yeah, it's orangey, and I'm gonna tape it in here so I can get the other 2 situated where I want it to be without taping this down to start with, because that's really sticky foam tape and I want it to be where I want it to be. So just doing that. I'm going to cut these off because I don't need more than that now. Not a big deal. Could I have planned that out a little bit better and only cut that top bit out of the die? Totally could have. But I didn't know which one I wanted to be that middle piece, so that was one of the reasons why I didn't. And then I'm just lining that up with the pencil marks that it did and just making sure it is where I want it to be. And then that's straight so that it is not shown. And then that line makes it so I can put this down pretty easy, because once this goes down, there is not moving it. This is such sticky foam. There literally is no moving it after that point. And so that one goes in and it's going to stick really well there. I thought about doing these leaves that I cut out for my forgeries on the 4th to go there. They're not going there. I would like to do something with them, but... And then this, it's a foam piece. I think it's Simple Stories, Cozy Days. The Blessed is what the challenge is. So look at how beautiful that is. And then I was thinking, maybe some of these still, nope. Maybe if I had popped them in behind the tags, I would have liked them more, but it was just taking away from everything. So I was like, nope. Maybe on here where I do my journaling, nope. I did like the idea of the scallop. I would prefer the black to tie in the black on the tags and the title. And I'm like, so I pulled out my, I think this is 1.5 inch circle. And I'm going to punch a bunch of these out. I'm going to cut them in half. All in one go, which is not straight at all. That's okay. And then I'm going to tuck these, and I decide I want a smaller circle punch. This could have worked and it would have been fine. Like totally would have been fine. I just wanted a smaller scallop. So I grabbed this one, which I have no idea what size it is, but it's itty bitty. Look at how small they are. And then I'm just going to line these ones up like this. And I do like that more. I do have to play around with those ones a little bit because that's where the foam is. But I'm going to get them all glued down. So I'm going to cut just a little bit off of the edge of most of them in the center here. And then the other ones I don't have to. I'm using my ruler to make sure it is all lined up. And I started in the center. And then I'm just working my way out to the corners. And there we go. Getting those last two in. And these ones are full circles just because I didn't want a weird piece hanging out on the end there. And we're getting close to being done here. So I'm going to do a little bit of journaling, and it is going to go on white, and then I'm just going to glue it on. And so my journaling is going to say, I feel so very grateful and blessed to live in Canada and to have so many beautiful places nearby. This is a hike we love doing when camping at Cypress House. We love seeing the red chairs in all sorts of different places. So very blessed. And I also decided that I wanted to mimic that scalloped border on the bottom here. So I'm just going to do 3 little half circles. And then I decided it'd be easier if I just put them on and cut them off. So that's what I'm going to do, is put them on, cut them off. That middle one's going to go back on in the center. And then this gets cut off really nice and easy. Done. And I'm just going to write instead of draw lines today, which is crazy. Crazy. And then my hidden journaling is done, and it's going to slide there. And then I have some of this brown baker's twine, and I'm going to tie this one into a bow, And then the two other ones are just going to go in with a knot and those edges like just loose. And then that will be this layout all done already. So I am putting a little spot of glue on the knot so that that twine doesn't come undone. So when I don't do that, and you'll see it here, I find that sometimes they can unwind and then I can have pieces of twine just randomly in places. I'm like, where did this come from? So gluing the knot definitely helps. And I had to glue my tag there. I cut it a little bit when I was cutting the twine, but here are close-ups. There'll be the blog list and the blog link and the Facebook group and all that lovely stuff in the links below. And so make sure to take a look at the blog and see what else the other lovely creatives have done with our Counterfeit Kit challenge this month. This one was a lot of fun and I'm really, really pleased with it. If you like this layout today, I would very much appreciate a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, I would love it if you subscribed. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you stay scrappy and inspired.